December 7th, 2018 is a day that should go down for Switch owners as a day of great video games coming to the Nintendo Switch. Of course, the big release that everyone is talking about is Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, the ultimate Super Smash Bros. Game. I did pick this game up. I haven't opened it yet, but I am going to play it all night long because I want to get down with the Belmonts. I think the game looks so cool. I'm not a huge Smash player. I'm definitely more of the casual type, but I'm definitely looking forward to this game, as were a lot of people. It's already selling astronomically well. We've already got confirmation of new DLC, so Smash Bros. Is fresh in everyone's mind. Another big release is the Sega Genesis Classics Collection for the Nintendo Switch. Now, this compilation features over 50 Sega Genesis games on the go or at home on your Nintendo Switch, and with the lack of a proper virtual console, this is another must-buy game in my opinion. We reviewed that game last week on the channel. I really enjoyed it, and I highly recommend you guys check it out, and make sure you guys check out that review. But there's a third game that nobody's talking about, and I feel like it's going to be a casualty. People are just going to overlook this game, and they shouldn't, because this game absolutely kicks ass. I remember the first time I played this game back in 2004. I was at my buddy's house, and him and his girlfriend were hanging out, and they had just purchased a brand new game for the PS2 called Katamari Damacy, and I was like, what the hell is this? This game looks weird as hell. But playing the game, I absolutely fell in love with it. Everything about the game was just so different, so quirky, and so unique. So when Katamari Damacy Reroll was announced for the Nintendo Switch during a recent Nintendo Direct, I absolutely lost my shit. I was so looking forward to this game, and the fact that it came out alongside of Smash Bros. And the Sega Genesis Classics Collection made me really worried, because I was like, people are gonna overlook this game. But you know what? You shouldn't overlook this game. This game is one of the best Nintendo Switch games out there. I have absolutely been having a blast playing it, so I want to talk about Katamari Damacy Reroll. Sit back, relax, make sure you subscribe to the channel, and go buy Katamari Damacy Reroll, and let's get into the review.
Hey, RGT 85. Hey, Sean.
Oh my god, it's Stevie Richards! So the story of Katamari Damacy Reroll is a pretty simple one. Your dad is the king of the cosmos. He's kind of dumb, and he destroys all of the stars in the sky. In order to bring the stars and constellations back, he sends you, the prince, and his son to Earth in order to make Katamari. Basically what a Katamari is it's a large ball that has things cling to it. You roll things up, you make the Katamari bigger, and if you get the minimum size requirement in the time allotted by the king, you then rescue that star. There's also a side story that goes on that features a Japanese family, where the father's an astronaut and he can no longer go to the moon because of the king wiping out the stars in the sky. Now that little plot hole does get fixed in the game, but it's kind of a funny ending to how that ends up being. The main thing in Katamari Damacy Reroll though is the gameplay. It's literally unlike anything you have ever played before, unless you played the original Katamari Damacy. And if you did, you play it again. You buy the damn game again and you play it again because it's that good. Basically, like I said, you are put onto Earth and you have to get your Katamari to a certain size in order to please the king. Doing such will allow you to place another star in the sky. The earlier levels of the game have you starting out with a very tiny Katamari. You roll things up like pins, apples, oranges, shoes, underwear, lots of random stuff. As your Katamari amasses to a bigger size, you can then roll up bigger objects. Honestly, I found the first few levels to be the trickiest in the game because of how small your Katamari starts out. But once you get it to a certain size, things get much easier because you can pick up more levels or you can pick up more things in your giant ball. The later levels of the game though are my absolute favorite, as you start to roll up massive things. You roll up people, cars, buildings, trees, fences, big animals, just tons of crazy stuff. The 10th stage, where you have to get a Katamari big enough to replace the moon, is arguably one of the most fun stages in any video game that I've ever played. I have replayed this level a ton of times on the original Katamari Damacy and on Reroll, and every time it just brings a big stupid... Replayability is a big thing in Katamari Damacy Reroll as well, because simply beating a level is fun, but it's also fun to go back and try different things. There's also some incentive too, as levels contain hidden items that you can roll up and find, and then you can equip the prince with them. After beating the main game, I had only discovered 2 hidden items, and considering how much fun the game is, I'm definitely going to go back and try to find the other items. You can also uncover different characters to use in multiplayer as well in the levels, so it's totally worth going back and revisiting these previous levels. Aside from the main levels, there are also constellation levels. These levels are a bit different than the standard levels because they have different objectives. It's not about getting your Katamari as big as possible, but focused on a particular animal or item. So for instance, the Pisces constellation has you trying to get as many fish as possible. Fish, of course, are not limited to just fish in the water, but anything fish related, fish statues, and even mermaids. Another level has you trying to find the biggest bear you can find, but you can only roll up one bear. And honestly, it's pretty tricky because there are many small bears in the level and bear-related items that you can roll over without even noticing it. No matter what type of level you play though, the game does keep record of your Katamari size or how many fish you captured, so on and so forth. So once again, it's totally worth revisiting the levels in order to beat your previous records. You could turn your previous records into Stardust and replace them with your new ones as well. Honestly, the controls of Katamari Damacy Reroll do take a little bit to get used to, but thankfully there's different control schemes if you can't get a handle on the default one. The main control scheme gives you the most control over the Prince and the Katamari, but sometimes it honestly is a bit confusing. There are also gyro controls in the game as well that let you use a Joy-Con in each hand, and a simplified control scheme that just focuses on pushing one analog stick instead of the default, which has you using both analog sticks to move, turn, and roll things up. Jumping is pretty important. It's something I didn't use all that much, but there are times where you feel like you may have seen all the level, but then you realize after jumping, there's actually a lot more to the level than what meets the eye originally. Speaking of the levels themselves are incredible, with tons of layers of depth. Certain areas have a size restriction for your Katamari, so you have to make it bigger in order to enter this area. Levels initially feel a bit small, but as you roll around the levels, you find many different paths and areas to explore. The later levels feature much larger Katamari, are absolutely massive, and you'll need levels this size because of all the stuff you'll be rolling up. I'm telling you, the moon level in this game, level 10, is absolutely fantastic. Just the amount of stuff you roll up is just so crazy. But I'm not going to spoil it for you or show you any footage of the 10th level, so buy the damn game and play it for yourself. Graphically speaking, not a whole lot has changed since the initial PlayStation 2 release. However, they did make the graphics in HD now. Colors are nice and crisp, environments look good, and while it's not a realistic style of game, the game has a great graphical charm. There's a lot of variety in the items to pick up in the game as you play it as well, so it's cool to see how many different things they crammed into this game. Like I said, there's a whole bunch of different items to pick up. There's animals, there's cars, there's giant squids, there's giant robot men. Like, it gets really crazy in the later levels of the game. The soundtrack is outstanding as well, with some really quirky Japanese music that I usually wouldn't get down to, but this music is just infectious. You'll be humming the main theme song for years like I have. I've literally been humming and singing the main theme song of this game since 2004. 14 years later, I'm still singing it because it's just that damn good. There's so many weird musical tracks in the game, but they're really well done. As far as complaints are concerned, I really don't have too many. Occasionally, my Katamari would get stuck in a tight area, and while the game will start to remove items from your Katamari ball, once or twice I wasn't able to get out of the area. The early levels, like I said, can be a bit challenging until you fully understand the game. The main game doesn't honestly take all that long to beat, but the constellations and multiplayer, which I sadly couldn't check out due to it being local multiplayer only, will definitely make the game last longer. And of course, simply beating the game isn't quite enough because there's additional things to unlock, such as different characters for multiplayer and different items for the Prince that you can equip and use in the game. Honestly though, I feel like every Nintendo Switch owner needs to buy Katamari Damacy Reroll. It's a $30 game, whether you buy it physically or digitally, and I've had so much fun with this game, and I literally just want to play this more and more. Bandai Namco did send over a reviewed copy, but I'm picking up the physical version of the game as well, because I want this game to sell well. If I have to be the one person that stands atop of the mountain and screams, "Buy Katamari Damacy Reroll," I will be that one person. This game is also available for Steam, so if you're a PC player, make sure you check it out on Steam as well, but it's just an infectious game. It's so much fun. There's arguably nothing like it, and I want to see this game do well because I want more Katamari games to end up on the Nintendo Switch or just on anything in general. This is a series that sort of died out back on the last generation of consoles, and it shouldn't have because it's so unique, it's so fun, and it's so creative that there's not quite anything out there that's like this game. So I strongly urge you guys to pick up Katamari Damacy Reroll. I know a lot of you guys are going to pick up Smash Brothers. I know a lot of you guys are going to pick up the Sega Genesis Classics Collection. We could buy all three of these games for $120, and honestly, that's not too bad. That'll put you well into the new year with some awesome Switch games. So let me know in the comments section down below if you ended up picking Katamari Damacy Reroll. My voice is trying to go out on me, but I'm just excited because I love Katamari Damacy Reroll. It's a fantastic game, and I highly suggest you guys check it out. So let me know what you think of it in the comments section down below, and as always, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications, and as always, I will catch you guys on the next video. Later.